Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. We've got a great show ahead for you, and we're starting. I'm so excited because we've had a couple of classes on the show. Now, we can't get the whole class because, you know, the classes are quite large. But we've had some amazing students on the program from the Ottawa Catholic School Board, and that continues today because they have a fantastic program called the Social Entrepreneurs Program through OCSB. And here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Rachel Cleesby. She is the teacher of these wonderful students from St. Emily. Welcome, Rachel. Great to have you here. And we have Daniel, Ziva, Alex, and Sean. Welcome to you all. You guys are pumped. They're excited. You should have seen they counted us in the show. It's very exciting. But I want to start with you, Rachel. Tell us a little bit about the Social Entrepreneurship Program. What a wonderful program. I mean, I know it, but maybe some of our viewers are not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic program. I mean, this is my third time doing the program with the students, and it's just absolutely wonderful to see them so engaged. But I mean, we started out learning about all the Sustainable Development Goals, and the kids were really interested in that, and I think it was a chance for them to see themselves as a global citizen, not just like a student in our class. And so we focused in on peace, justice, and strong institutions. And then from there, we found a charity that would align with that goal.
Right.
But it's just a great framework for deep learning for them to see outside the classroom what life is really like. And you know, they have to become good collaborators and critical thinkers to solve problems. They have to use creativity. Excuse me. And they're just a wonderful program for them to engage with.
So these sustainable development goals, so you share them, I guess, with the class, and then they get to decide which of those goals they want to concentrate on. That's the idea?
We use a program called Beluga where they actually get to go through different courses and view the different goals. And then we did a presentation where each group got to do a presentation about which one they wanted to do. So peace was what we ended up focusing in on.
Okay, well, let's start with you, Daniel. You, as Rachel just said, your choice of peace, justice, and strong institutions. Tell me why you decided on that, and you've partnered with an organization, right?
Yeah. So we chose this because we want to make the world a better place. We want to show to the world that peace is very important because right now there are a ton of wars going on, and obviously, yes, we want it to stop. So we partner with CPSC, or Civilian Peace Service Canada, another organization that promotes our values of peace, harmony, and unity. And our slogan is, because the world needs more peace, and we want to show it.
I love it. You have chosen some great kids. Well said. I love it, Daniel. Let's get over to Zita. You have created some products, Ziva. You've also partnered up with Shopify. But let's talk about the products that you created. Walk me through that.
So we made bracelets, keychains, necklaces with peace pendants, and stickers with our signature on it, and we sold out. These are all handmade with love to sell out to the community to remind them of peace and kindness.
So with Shopify, obviously they're available online. I was just online this morning, by the way, and they're sold out. No surprise, because they're absolutely beautiful. But did you sell them in any other
So we sold them around the school a couple of times every Friday, and we also went to the NIC, which is going to be mentioned before. We didn't sell much there, but we did sell. We got to see a lot of different OCSB, other projects there, and we got some ideas maybe for the next time we do this project, or for the teacher that does this project for the next students in their class.
Hand it to Alex there. So Alex, you also got an invitation, and I think Ziva just touched on that, to the Youth Ottawa Untapped event. Tell me about that. What was that event like?
Yes. So we went to the NAC, also known as the National Arts Center, to sell our products, but also to share what we have been doing with our project. We were able to socialize with friends, family, meet new friends, learn about their projects, and it was fun. We learned about other charities that students were helping, and overall, it was just fun being part of this, group that gives back to society.
Yeah, I mean, has it inspired you just sort of moving forward when you look to the future that you want to continue to do something like that, whether it's something globally or something within your community?
Probably, yeah.
Nice, I like it. Sean, you're going to tell us about what you've learned from the project. What have you learned from the project? And then you're speaking on behalf of the entire class here,
Yeah.
right? Go ahead.
The project helped us get business experience. We also now cooperate better. I learned how to advertise. We used math to calculate how much we sold. We made a pitch to our principal, and he gave us $250.
Nice.
We also created lots of cool logos. So I think I can speak on behalf of the whole class when I say we learned a lot and we had fun doing it.
How did you go about advertising?
We made posters, and we used the announcement system in the school to tell them when we're selling.
Very cool. Rachel, I just see you smiling over there and glowing, going, these kids are great. This, we can only get so many kids on the show, so, we should give a shout out to the entire class. I mean, watching them collaborate and working on this, just tell me about what that's experience been like as an educator.
Right. I mean, it's been wonderful to see them work together. We have different teams. So we had a web design team that worked on the Shopify. We had production team that were coming up with the products and working on the products. We had marketing. So they were in charge of sort of making a schedule for those announcements that we did. And pretty much, I think everyone got to partake in that. And the sales team too. We had a sales team that was leading the sales, and everyone also got to take part in that. So it was great. It was a really, hands-on, everybody had a job.
Nice.
For sure.
Hand that over to Ziva, because when I was talking to Ziva before the show, she thought we were on the show for the entire hour, and I said to Ziva, hey, do you think you could talk for an entire hour? And Ziva, you said yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, look at her. Oh, what did I do there? I want you to let's do a little show and tell here. What are these products made of? Sort of walk me through how you've put these together and what materials you've used.
So Miss Cleesby made the tutorial how all of us got to watch and make all of these amazing keychains. We can hang them on our bags, a lot of other stuff. And for the bracelets, we went on Amazon. We bought a lot of stuff, different sorts of beads and keychains, I guess, keychain supplies, pendants too.
Nice.
We took a lot of time into them. We also we went through recesses. We came in. We made products. Because a lot of time we had problems keeping up with demand because so many people were buying. So the first day we didn't sell much because people really didn't get the word out. So we used Twitter, and we got our word out to a lot of people, which also we linked our Shopify link to go get more people. A lot of people didn't sell on Shopify much, but we got a bit of sales. And on the second day, that's when more people came. And then on the third day, the same amount of people came. Got a few repeat customers,
Nice.
which is really,
That's very important.
good.
Yeah.
We surpassed our goal widely. We doubled it. I'm pretty sure our main goal was 500 to 1,000. We doubled it because we made
Good for you.
2,000.
How much money have they raised, Rachel? Do you have that number?
About 2,000.
2,000 around. We had a tally person to
fantastic.
tally, but we got so many buyers that we forgot to tally because we were so busy. We were so stocked.
See,
so
she can
we
talk for an hour.
We
Thank you so much to
We
all
don't
of
know.
you. I really meant that sincerely. I love having you guys on the show. You've done such amazing work. By the way, you can go to eaglesunitedforpeace.myshopify.com to see them. They're sold out at the moment, but keep an eye on it. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Are you low on food? Struggling to pay the bills? Overwhelmed by life's challenges? When you need support but don't know where to turn, just dial 211. 211 connects you to the programs or services near you.
211, how can I help you?
211, help starts here.
Hi, I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about traveling. Traveling has obviously exploded since the pandemic. More and more people are trying to get away and enjoying themselves. And if you go to Europe, one of the things that so many people do is go and visit some of the beautiful castles. And some of the most beautiful castles in all of Europe are located in Germany. And my next guest just returned recently from 3 weeks in Germany, got engaged while she was there. Rachel King joins me, Senior Marketing Manager with CAA Travel and Rewards. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So I gotta ask, so why you and your fiance, why did you decide on Germany in particular?
Yeah, so Germany was actually our very first trip to Europe. So we were trying to figure out, okay, what country do we want to go see? So the tactic that we did was write down, what are the main things that we want to get out of this type of trip? For me, castles was a huge part of that.
Okay.
History, things like that. And when we had all those items written down, Germany became the obvious one that we wanted to go visit.
So you did a lot of planning beforehand, and I imagine that's the piece of advice you would give to anybody, right? Because if you just arrive and you're scrambling to figure out where to go, there can be a lot of wasted time there, right?
Yeah, 100%. So we did months of planning before we actually went on the trip.
Wow.
How we actually kind of approached planning is kind of interesting because we did a lot of research online, of course, but we actually went to a CAA store, picked up a physical map of Germany, the country, and we went home, we just started pinpointing areas of interest on the map that we wanted to go visit. Again, for me, a lot of castle dots were on that map.
Nice.
Places, towns we wanted to visit that were really cute, any attractions. And through doing that, we kind of saw this natural route that we could take on our trip to Germany, starting off in Bavaria, Munich area, heading through to the Black Forest and ending our trip eventually in the Rhine.
Nice.
So it worked out perfectly. After we had the trip all planned out and we took all of our research, the physical map, brought it to my travel consultant and handed it over and said, here you go, please do the rest, make the magic happen.
That is great. And I was joking with you before the show and said, a map? What's a map? No one uses that, but my wife actually loves using a map. So you sent us some photos. So here's the map, of course, that you guys got. And is that true for, you mentioned you went to the CAA store. Is that true for pretty much anywhere you go? You can go to CAA and they've got maps available for pretty much any country in the world?
Yeah, so CAA does carry a lot of road maps. The country maps, and depending on where they go, it can be a bit hit or miss, but definitely Europe, there's a lot of European maps. As you had mentioned, I'd gotten engaged in Germany, so we're planning our honeymoon next in Scotland, and I've already gone to the CAA store, picked up my map for that trip too.
I love it. You sent some other photos, so I'm going to ask them just to start rolling through some of these photos. Tell me where you are here. Look at the view from here. This is spectacular.
It was definitely like a fairy tale being in Germany and looking at all of the castles. So this was one of my favorite castles we visited. It's Hohenzollern Castle. It's a burg that was a castle that we stopped on our way into the Black Forest. One of the reasons why I liked it so much, it's a huge castle complex and it's almost entirely self-guided. You can explore it. There were underground tunnels that we got to go in, all the turrets that you see at that first picture that I visited at. A lot of castles in Europe, when you go to visit, they are usually guided, so it's a 20-minute tour through the entire interior of the castle. This one, though, was completely self-guided.
Is this the same castle here, just a different viewpoint we're looking at?
Yeah,
okay.
100%, yeah. Looks like Hogwarts.
That is, have they ever kept it up so beautifully too. I imagine this is your fiance here.
Yeah, that's Nick. So this is Neuschwanstein Castle, for obvious reasons, one of my favorite castles that we visited in Germany.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of the reasons we wanted to go to Germany was specifically for this castle. The really neat thing is that sort of glass outlook that Nick is situated there on. We showed up pretty early. We hiked up to the castle before tour groups got there, so we had the whole place to ourselves.
Nice.
Just us in front of the castle for a good hour, I would say. And he did end up proposing to me.
This is where he proposed?
This is where he proposed.
Amazing.
So right on that glass outlook. I remember I had run up and I was trying to pass my phone to him to have him take a picture of me, and he wasn't grabbing my phone. So I look over and there he is down on one knee.
Oh my God. I just got chills, Rachel. Oh, look at, there's the ring and everything.
Yeah, so if you're in the market to get engaged, I highly recommend. It's a great spot. About 2 minutes after this photo was taken, the leaf blowers came out and we're getting the spot ready to go. But you know what? We had our moments. So.
What are we seeing here? This is a beautiful view of this castle.
Yeah, so this again is Neuschwanstein Castle. One tip I would say if you're ever heading to Germany or on any travel really is bring a camera that has a really long lens. So for me, I always pack my Nikon Coolpix series camera. Any camera works, but this one's nice because you don't have to carry multiple lenses with you. It has an 83 optical zoom lens already, so it's fantastic. For this picture in particular, we were hiking Tegelberg Mountain. Couldn't see the castle because, of course, you're in amongst a bunch of trees, but we just happened to have a parting in the trees, and this view came into space. So I got my camera out, I zoomed in, and was able to grab this shot with
the
Neuschwanstein Castle.
too behind.
All the
I mean,
mountains
it's like
behind.
the perfect shot.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful.
You should do photography. I mean, that is seriously, that's absolutely gorgeous. I think, do we have a couple more photos, guys? I'm not sure if we do. We have a couple? No? Okay, we're out of fun. You mentioned, so you had sort of those one or two favorite castles, but you visited what, seven in total?
Yeah.
So how much time would you expect to spend at any given castle? Like, what would you recommend to people? I
think it really depends on what you want to get out of the castle, the size of the castle itself. For us, we budgeted half a day on each castle because we like to go through things quite slow. But what that also meant too, there are some castles that you can do 2 in one day because they're located quite close to each other. So Neuschwanstein Castle, the white castle that we had up on screen there, is really close to Hohenschwangau. So both of them are in Füssen, Germany. And for me, they're walking distance. If you can't walk that far, there's a shuttle that goes between them. You can actually buy a combo ticket to visit both for one price, which is handy. Hohenzollern is only about an hour's drive from Liechtenstein Castle. So we planned that one in one day too. We drove to Liechtenstein, spent the morning there, and then spent the afternoon in Hohenzollern.
So you mentioned bergs, and there are also, what's the other one?
Schlosses.
So what's the difference between a berg and a schloss?
So when we were in Germany, we noticed a lot of castles were either referred to as bergs or schlosses, and so we were kind of curious, what is the difference? What does that mean? A berg is a fortification, something that was built for battle and for defending a region.
Okay.
Schlosses are just palaces, and they're a sign of wealth for very wealthy families. A lot of the castles we actually ended up visiting were schlosses, and that's part of the reason why they're so well preserved too. The interesting thing that I also thought was, going into Germany, going to Europe, I assumed all these castles were very, very old. Not always the case. Neuschwanstein actually started construction after Fort Henry in Kingston, which to me was mind-blowing.
Wow, that is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Rachel, I wish we had more time, but congratulations again on your engagement. And by the way, if you want to book something and you want to sit down with somebody, you can go to bookcaa.ca. They can help you, walk you through visiting castles, wherever you want to go in the world. They can give you a hand. We'll be back with more daytime right after this.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade, and they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
Join us for Season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. We just talked some great comedy yesterday. If you recall, John Doerr was in town. We had a great sit down and chat with him. He's got his 3 shows coming up, but this is such a unique comedy show, unlike you've never attended before. I've had my next guest on the show previously. They've been doing this in Toronto. They've got their 2nd show coming up. It's called Write 'em Up. Todd Van Allen joins me here on the show, comedian and I guess organizer of Write 'em Up. Is that how?
Yeah, sure. I have to say, I feel a little bit out of place right now. I didn't bring pictures. I don't have beads. I got nothing for you, so I apologize.
You've got comedy,
okay,
Todd.
All right,
you're a professional comedian.
Yes,
that's
okay.
all I need.
We have that.
A little bit of history, as I said. This began in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk us through, our viewers through the history a little bit here.
There's a friend of mine that wanted to put on this show from a comedian who was doing it in LA called Jimmy Pardo.
Oh, yes.
And he said, have you heard of Jimmy Pardo show? I was like, do you want me to text him to see? Because I know him. Like, I knew the guy.
Okay.
And so my buddy's like, yeah. So I was like, can we get permission? Yes, you can do it. And he's like, perfect. And so I gave it to my buddy, and then he moved out of the city and quit comedy. So,
okay.
So this was just kind of hanging there. So I went, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I checked in again, made sure everything was kosher, and then, and that's what we did. So the first show that we did there was at Comedy Bar in Toronto, and that was our Toronto home. And I brought in 5 comics to perform, just like a normal standard issue comedy show. And then while they're performing, I've got a team of writers that are writing roast jokes about everything that that comic does, says, whatever. 9 times out of 10, it's like, nice shirt. And then they write these on index cards, and then the comic goes away, and then I grab those roast cards and I read them to the audience verbatim.
Okay. So do you take to the stage to read these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm still there. Comic's gone.
Okay.
Right. And it's one of the wonderful things about it is because it's a small room, and certainly at Absolute Comedy here in Ottawa, where we do the show in the downstairs room, it's also it's small and intimate, and that's what I like about it. It very much has that very close feel, and it fills a room nice. Right. But the comics are at the back, and so like you'll read a roast of like, nice shirt, whatever it is. Right. And you'll just hear the comic say, after the laughter dies down, just, oh, like little single tear creeping its way down the
They're so emotional, comics.
Oh, fussy.
Yeah.
Just fussy.
Absolutely. Can't take a joke.
No, I've had 2.
Really?
I've only
you've had issues?
In the history of 8 years of this show, I've only had 2 comics that say that was that was below the line. And it literally was about the person's pants. That's what.
So just the one joke,
just the one
not the
joke
whole concept.
Not the whole concept.
Okay.
It's just like, how dare they make fun of my pants? I go, you wore them. Like you have
gotta
mirrors.
Be prepared for anything.
Right. You know. And like I had a friend of mine. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get roasted, and he showed up in like a Tilly hat and like one of those wartime photographer vests, and just like have at it, he really wanted to like just kind of stand there and take the bullets.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's always a fun time. It's my favorite thing that I do because it's you just go up, you host the show, and then you get to do. There's a couple of tropes that I absolutely love about the show. One being the best roast, the ones that the crowd likes, and they start to vote on it. And we put them on the fridge when they really like one. And then we put them on our socials, which is at Write 'em Up Show. Little plug.
Nice.
And you can find it on Instagram, Facebook. So we put all the best roasts up there with no context whatsoever. So
you don't even know what comic it is?
You have no idea.
Okay.
It's just like, nice shirt. Like, that's all it is. So, and then if the roasts aren't good, we have a shredder and we just pop them in the shredder. We're just like, that one was not good. That's it.
So last time we were on, that was the first show in Ottawa.
Correct.
How did that show go?
It went fantastically.
Yeah.
And the thing happened that I assumed would happen in Toronto, and it happened here, is the community starts to support it. And so the comedy community here has a very strong roast culture, right?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So this dovetails nicely into that. If I can create synergy, do some business speak here, at the end of the day when the rubber hits the road, we're dovetailing into synergy.
Nice.
So no, like the Ottawa knows from roast. So it actually, I had to give a note to the writers to go, I know you know everyone. I know you can only roast them about what's happening on stage. They can't know about who stole someone's boyfriend. You can't talk about the time they bombed in Carlton Place. You can't do it's what the, because otherwise the audience is like,
the joke's completely lost.
Why is he talking about a show in North Gore? What is this? So,
who do you have coming up?
I'm glad you asked, because
you got your little cheat sheet. And look, we got the poster
right
up
there.
here.
So we got David Haddad, Greg Schroeder, Michael Friedman, Omar Ismail, Rory Gardner, Christine Lumens are the comics, and then Brendan McKeegan, Karen Joy, and Emmett Morrison are the writers.
Nice.
There we are.
How did you get started in comedy? That's something I don't think I asked you last time.
I have always liked stand-up, and it was actually in Ottawa that I saw Jay Leno perform at the NAC.
Oh, really?
And I was 16, and I went, oh, that's how you do it. And this was like when Jay Leno was Jay Leno before he was Jay Leno.
Yeah,
like, he was Jay Leno. And, I saw him at the NAC, and he did like 2.5-hour show, 45 minutes of which he's just going through the first 3 rows. What do you do? What's your name? Joke. What's your name? What do you do? Joke. Call back to that guy. Like, it was insane watching him as a master. So,
what do you think about that? I mean, local, you and I both agree we have so many fantastic local comedians, but I'm just, in general, like globally, the comedy scene, I don't know about you, but I just think it just seems to get better and better. How do you feel?
We are in a moment, I think, this is such a big topic, but like, I think we had a bubble burst in the early 90s because the demand for comics could not be fulfilled by quality acts, and that's why a lot of clubs closed.
Gotcha.
But now, because we have so much more access to comedy, streaming services, and you can find any type of comedy that you want.
Yeah.
It's creating mini markets that have access. So it wasn't always, you need to go to the Scarborough Chuckle Hut, and that was the only time you could see a comic, right? Or you had 4 channels on TV, or A&E was running Evening at the Improv, 45 times a day. So now you're seeing a lot more sort of people are able to pick and choose, and they're able to see the comedy that they want to see.
And they get little snippets, and I think I'm going to like this guy or this gal. Tickets, where do people get tickets? Very quickly.
Go to @WriteEmUp Show. There's links there for you to go, or call Absolute Comedy on Preston Street. Call the club directly.
June 27th, 8:30 p.m. Be there, my friends. Todd, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We'll be right back right after this.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for our next Hour to Give, where we feature the Shepherds of Good Hope Foundation and all of the great work they're doing in the community. We're going to tell you ways that you can help. Join us then.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back to the show. Speaking of comedy, my next guest is putting together some great comedy fundraisers, and the fundraiser for the Prescott-Russell Recreational Trail. Got some exciting news to share with you. Eric Collard is the executive director. Welcome. Great to have you here. You've done comedy yourself, though, eh? You dabbled in comedy?
I've seen Todd at a few different spots. He's an incredibly funny guy.
Yeah.
People like him inspired me to start doing some comedy.
Really, eh?
Just under a year ago. And then with my love of the trail and comedy and having a lot of friends in the comedy world, I've been started doing some fundraisers. We've done them at Beau's, at Broken Stick Brewery, and we did one last weekend at Van Cleek Hill Vineyard in
yeah.
Amazing, great acts. The crowd was sold out. And it was just, the energy was incredible. And
we need to we have a mic issue.
Oh.
So just grab that. Yeah. So it happens, live television, Eric. So is this something you feel you're going to do sort of on a semi-regular basis? What's the plan?
We're working with our partners to put them on throughout the region. Like I said, we did one at Beau's, one at Broken Stick Brewery in Hammond. We did one at Van Cleek Hill Vineyard last weekend, and we're doing another one at Van Cleek Hill Vineyard. This one's going to be bilingual on Saturday, June 29th.
Nice.
So tickets are available on our website. And it's a nice way to spend the evening, taste some good wine, and have some laughs. Some of it at our expense.
Right,
but
of course.
It's laughs for a good cause. So
I see them scrambling again with audio. Here, Don, give me the... Oh, you're good? Okay, no, we're good. Never mind.
Okay.
I saw panic behind you, Eric. Just ignore that.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about fundraisers. Let's tell them what the fundraisers have been for.
Yeah, so it's for I'm the executive director of the Prescott-Russell Recreational Trail. For those in Ottawa that don't know, it's actually this trail, the Prescott-Russell link starts in the city of Ottawa, but the portion I'm responsible for is on the outskirts of Ottawa and goes all the way to the Quebec border in Rigaud. So it's a 72-kilometer multi-purpose trail.
Wow.
So in the winter, it's snowmobiles, snowshoeing, and cross-country skiing. And in the summer, it's cycling, riding a bike, walking. So it's and we now just became in last winter we became part of the Trans-Canada Trail.
What does that mean? How important is that designation?
It means a few things. The Trans-Canada Trail is the longest trail in the world, 28,000 kilometers from coast to coast to coast.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool in itself.
No kidding.
But there's a lot more stuff that goes in behind the scenes. We have access to a lot of resources because they obviously help manage trails all over Canada. And so we get lots of, resources to how to best do certain things. And we also have access to funding programs. So we've done a little bit of work on the trail with the help of Trans-Canada Trail.
Nice.
So it's been an incredible partnership so far, and there's some really cool stuff coming up. So I'm not going to divulge everything, but there's some really cool stuff.
There's some events coming up too, but we'll touch on that. But tell everybody, because you go through some really cool areas, right? Different environments. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people. I love Ottawa, and I spend a lot of time here, but it's the rural landscape that's at our doorstep is pretty incredible. So it's a crushed stone surface.
Okay.
So and it's obviously a former rail bed, so it's fairly flat. But there's some wonderful scenery. We obviously lots of farmland. Prescott-Russell is primarily rural. You get to go over a couple bridges and see some rivers, lots of trees. We just planted another 2,500 trees this spring.
Nice.
Obviously, those aren't mature yet, but
of course.
So it's just a very you kind of forget your anywhere near a city, especially a city of Ottawa's size.
Yeah.
So it's a nice way, and plus we have 6 pavilions along the way now. We just finished our 6th one in
congrats.
about a month ago.
So what can people find at the pavilions?
So it's so you get a covered gazebo. So if it's raining, you can have a sandwich in the dry spot. There's a dry toilet, which is also always nice when you go, especially doing a longer ride. And there's a little bulletin board, so we have a QR code. So for those who aren't around the region, you can also look and see where you are. If you want a coffee or a sandwich or all the water, you get to know where you can buy some of this stuff. And then we also
we were just talking about that. Yeah. Where is mine? I forgot. Oh yeah, there it is.
So we just got these trail maps done in both official languages. One side is Prescott-Russell. We did it with our friends at SDG in Cornwall.
Nice.
So and then we have all the hot spots on there. I left a few here in the studio for you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
It's a great way for folks to kind of get around. Obviously, those are also available on our website, but it's just nice for, especially when you're cycling, you can put it in your back jersey or your pocket and you have an idea of where you are. All the pavilions are on there, so and then some of the hot spots in where we rent our e-bikes is on the map as well.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that because, some of the 72 kilometers, not everyone's going to do that, but even a shorter distance can, for people that have some mobility issues perhaps, the e-bike program, what a great program that is, Eric.
Yeah, we got lucky. We got a grant a few years ago, a Tourism Relief Fund grant, and so we bought 10 e-bikes. And so now they're available at rentals at three of our partners. We have Bose in Vankleek Hill. Yeah. We have Café sur la Rive in Plantagenet. And then we have Mike Dean's in Bourget, which is the closest one to the city. So everything's available on our website. You can click, you can rent for an hour, 2 or 4 hours. Nice. And then you get a helmet, and you get a how-to video. They're fairly easy, but you get to figure out how to use them. They're what we call pedal assist, so they won't go on their own. Right. But you start pedaling, and then they've got a range of about 120 kilometers, so. Wow. Yeah, they're a top-of-the-line Schwinn bike, so yeah.
You've got some events I mentioned coming up. You've got community markets, right, throughout the summer into October?
Yeah, so our first community market's happening on Saturday, the 3rd Saturday of the month, which is the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then every 3rd Saturday of the month from now till the end of October. And it's great, all local producers, mostly within Prescott-Russell or even Ottawa, but we try to make sure that we support local. Nice. And it's and we have some fun and games. We've had clowns, we had pirates, we've had so fun and then musicians, so fun for the whole family.
I've got 30 seconds left. I want to mention quickly Savor the Region also coming up July 7th, right?
Yeah, so we're going to launch the tickets in the next week. Okay. Everything's going to be our online, and this will be really for folks, especially for folks from Ottawa, to taste the entire Prescott-Russell region in one afternoon. On a Sunday afternoon, you come over, you can taste some great wine, some great beer, some great bakery goods, and some food at the same time.
Wonderful. Congratulations. I mean, what great success so far. And enjoy the trails. And you at home, enjoy the trails. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Here are 3 reasons why your social strategies should include Rogers TV. Reason number 1 is we have hyper-local audiences. The community TV channel gives you a chance to engage with people where you live, so you really get to know your neighbors and they get to know you. Reason number 2 is we can help diversify your distribution. With social media, it's really important to be able to have a wider audience, and Rogers TV can actually help complement your online presence by delivering to a different audience. And it's actually really easy to repurpose your existing content or to just create new material specifically tailored for community TV. And finally, reason number 3 is we can help enhance your credibility and your trust. And by aligning your brand with Rogers TV, you can tap into that trust that viewers have. This can boost your reputation, especially among viewers who favor local businesses and value community involvement. 1, 2, 3. It's that easy to build your local audience with Rogers TV.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. You may recognize my next guest. They've been on the show in the past, entertaining people all over the place, and they've got a busy summer ahead. Velvet Wells joins me from Velvet Duke Productions. How are you, Velvet? Great to have you back.
I'm very well, thank you, Derek.
Let's talk a little bit about your history. For those that aren't familiar with you, how you got into the entertainment business.
Sure. I'm from Toronto and had a great time there. I was doing improv. I was on Mr. Dress Up. I a star of screen and stage, and
Nice.
And then we moved up during the pandemic to the Ottawa region, and immediately got into the Fringe Festival circuit, and I've done a number of other opportunities here. Last year, I won the laureate for the IBPOC of the Ottawa. Ottawa Arts Council gave me the award as the most emerging.
What an honor!
So this year I'm emerging.
There, I'd say you've emerged already, Velvet. I got to go back to Mr. Dress Up because I grew up watching Mr. Dress Up. What role did you play on Mr. Dress Up?
I was the toy maker. So if one of Casey's toys had some ailments, I was the one to sing it better.
Oh my God! I've seen, I grew up watching. I've seen the movie. Just you being a part of that. I mean, the memories just flowing back for me. Did you grow up watching Mr.
Of course.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't think I was going to be an entertainer. I mean, I sang to my sister, try to get her to sleep or get her to wake up.
Right.
But I didn't think that would translate into being on anything, except I had the goal of being on Mr. Dress Up.
And you worked hard to get there.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did. Well,
and to get here to where you are today. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, absolutely.
Yes.
You've got you mentioned to me earlier you've got a packed summer, but we're just going to talk about a few of the things. You're part of the Ottawa Comedy Cabaret cruise, and that's with Pirate Life. They were just on the show, but for those that aren't familiar with Pirate Life, what a great idea, right? Great concept.
I love it. I had an opportunity to work with them in Toronto. And so I wanted, as soon as I could, to bring a show here, to get out on the water, get outside, just for me, especially after the last couple of years, to get back outside, to be a little bit of a tourist in the city. I haven't been down there yet, so this is all going to be very fresh for me, and an opportunity to have a change in venue from the indoors black box type spaces that we have.
So what can people expect during the cruise?
Well, they're going to get to see the sights around Mooney's Bay, and then we're going to have comedians. We'll have a stand-up comedian and improvisers, and then I'm going to do musical improv and maybe a couple of real songs, depending on the weather, depending on my mood. So it's going to be a true cabaret.
Nice. And then you're back on land. You have the Landlubber comedy, right?
We actually start with Landlubber comedy.
You start with that.
Because, I understand why venues want to have people in the space as soon as possible to fill up before the show starts.
Right.
But while you're waiting by the beach, why not have some entertainment? So it's an opportunity twofold. One, to enjoy as just a customer, but also so I could include more performers. There's a capacity on the boats. I can only get certain number of people before there are no more seats.
Do you have a pirate name?
Do I have a pirate name?
I think it's important with Pirate Life.
The Velvet Duke, I feel it's just right there.
It does fit.
It's right there.
It does fit.
But if I had to piratize it a little bit more, it might be Parrot Jim.
Parrot Jim. Okay. Yeah. I like it. Also part of Pirate Fest, right? Coming up on June 8th. Same sort of idea for Pirate Fest?
With Pirate Fest, we will only be on land.
Okay.
But all of the shows that happen during Pirate Fest are free. So people can come at any point. The show will be very family friendly. So if there are still families around early evening, come and enjoy that. And if not, maybe it won't be. We'll find out how pirate it gets.
Well,
right?
that's what you do. That's the skill that you have, right?
Yes.
Reading the crowd and interacting with the crowd. I mean, that's a big part of that improv style that you do. So people that aren't familiar with your style and music, just tell them about the concept.
Sure. I got into musical improv as my most passionate way to make things up on the spot. Improv is getting suggestions from the audience and reacting to that information and creating either a whole scene or playing a game around that, either being witty or very physical. And making it family friendly for me is easy because I did Mr. Dress Up, because I've taken my show into schools. I know there are limits. There are, you know, sometimes I have to call on a teacher to go, is that copacetic or not? Because I don't know, I do not know Gen Z slang anymore. Right. But aside from that, everything is just, it's so bound in joy.
Right.
So I don't need to act blue unless the audience needs that.
You'll be doing a workshop, is that right, in the summer? Tell me about that.
A lot of people love the idea of singing, but have been told that they shouldn't. And so
I'm in that category, Velvet.
My workshop is meant for those people to give themselves that opportunity to discover the joy of it. I give them a very structured approach to it. It's a slow burn, so nobody is feeling like they're under the spotlight as soon as they walk in. But by the end of it, they could join me on stage if they wanted to and be part of an ensemble singing.
All Request Radio returning to Arts Court. That's as we get closer to fall, for people that aren't familiar with that. Same idea?
Same idea. Yeah, and the idea of doing this workshop is to get more people involved as part of the show, if they want to. I'm also hoping to add some live musicians to spice things up, to change the genres and the aesthetic of it. But it's going to be a great run of shows at Arts Court through the winter and the fall and winter.
For the rest of the summer, on tour? Like, are you staying in town, or what are your plans?
I literally go back and forth. I'm doing the preview night for Fringe. That's coming up soon, and then I do go down to Hamilton for a show. I'm going to Baltimore for a show. I will be bouncing around. I'll be here in town to say hi if you see me, but definitely I want to get out in the world.
Yeah, and you know what I love too, Velvet? The fact that you're sharing your skill for improv, because maybe they don't end up, you know, doing what you're doing and joining you and something, but there are so many benefits, right, to improv, the amount of confidence that people get. I went through the Improv Olympics throughout high school, and I can tell you it was an absolute game changer for me, for someone that didn't have that confidence. And well, look at you and I today. That's what improv does. TheVelvetDuke.com, by the way, everybody, if you want to find out the entire schedule, find out what Velvet's up to. We'll be back with more right after this.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
A large demographic that tunes into our show and actually the channel in general are seniors, and many seniors are looking for solutions out there. They want to stay at home longer. Perhaps they just need some help here and there. There's some great help with my next guest. I'm joined by Debbie Abfolter and Julie Joyce. They are with Senior Solutions Inc. Welcome. Great to have you both here. Welcome back, Debbie. Nice to meet you, Julie. And you brought along a special guest here. Debbie, let's introduce Diesel here to our viewers.
This is Diesel, the therapy companion dog. He's been working with Senior Solution for about 5 years. In 2019, we made calendars, Diesel calendars, and then we did a lot of fundraising. I ride a motorcycle, so we do fundraising through. So Diesel does sponsoring. He's raised about $12,000 since then, and all the monies go back into the community for seniors who are suffering from elder abuse.
That's just
that's
amazing.
His job.
Everyone in the green room fell in love with Diesel,
yes.
I'm sure, right?
Yes, he's a little exhausted from all the love. No, he works with seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia, so he does visits in retirement homes. If we have a client that needs to go to the dentist or a cancer treatment, we bring Diesel. We now actually have 3 dogs on staff.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yep.
And Julie, that's not all the services that you offer, just something like Diesel and the other therapy companionship dogs. What other services do you offer through this?
Many services. Companion visits is a big one. Kind of enriching those day-to-day moments in the home or in a nursing home, even the hospital. Transportation to and from appointments, as well as end-of-life doulas we have on staff.
I'm an
as well.
end-of-life doula, and we have 5 on staff.
Yeah, tell me about that, Debbie. And that's something that really intrigued me when you sent the info. We've got an end-of-life doula coming up on the show a little bit later in February as well.
Well, it's end-of-life is non-medical, non-religious, and non-lawyer. Okay. So we advocate for the client. So we are there for the client. We are there as a gatekeeper. If Mr. Smith's sister of 50 years didn't ever want to come and see her, she's not allowed to come. We advocate. We also are sort of a concierge for the family, so we can pick up food. We do a lot of cooking. So if they're in their own home, we can do a lot of in-care home care for the families, but as well for the person that is. Transitioning, we call it. We have done assistance with MAID, help them apply for MAID. And typically when someone is end of life, they are more apt to accept it than the family.
Right.
So we advocate for them, and we also there to not counsel, but to be there for the family. And when the person transitions, we can wash the body, we can change them, we can assist in getting the coroner and all that stuff. Yeah.
Julie, I would imagine, with many seniors, it's unfortunate that many would find themselves in isolation. So the relationships that you create with these seniors, you must become almost members of the family, like part of their circle of friends, right?
100%. I've worked with seniors myself for about 15 years, and I do consider many of the clients and residents I've worked with part of my family, and I believe our caregivers kind of develop that same relationship. And what's fantastic is after we kind of create these relationships in the community between caregiver and client, it's a two-way street. The client or the caregiver tends to go home feeling better too, and it's really beautiful to see that kind of relationship grow.
Yeah, and as I said off the top, more seniors want to stay at home as well. This obviously gives them an opportunity to extend that, and I think a lot of people forget, maybe Debbie, you can speak on this, a lot of people, hey Dees, where are you headed? A lot of people tend to forget that it's not as expensive as some of the alternatives, right? Correct. People think, oh, if I'm going to get home care, that is so expensive. Not necessarily the case.
Well, we can also, you can have 24-hour care, which can be very expensive.
Right.
But a lot of them, and a lot of our demographics too, they think of a nursing home as not a very negative thing. Right. I think they used to call it. can't remember what they used to call it. But anyway, so we can go in there 3-4 hours a day, 8 hours a day. We can assist the families when they can't be there. A lot of our clients have family members all over the world, but they don't live here.
Right.
So we advocate for the family. We're very hands-on. We have an app that they can look at all the notes. So at the end of the day, the caregivers, they literally have a bird's eye view of what we've done for the day.
Right.
And we're very, very hands-on, all of us. I personally am very hands-on. Julie's very hands-on as well. We're very accessible, and we work with other agencies as well. So our need for help with seniors, sometimes other agencies, we all work together. So we're there to help the senior, and it's not about anything else other than helping that particular senior. Yeah.
That's the number one thing
Absolutely,
for
that's our
you, and of
goal.
course that's the number one thing for the client
Because loneliness
themselves.
and with isolation, I mean, a lot of these homes right now are still under isolation with COVID and influenza, and it's worse than obesity. Isolation and loneliness is
well, it's an epidemic, right? Yeah. If I remember correctly, the UK was the first and only country, as far as I know so far, is to have a minister of loneliness.
Wow.
That's how serious they felt that the issue was. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in this country in particular down the road.
And a lot of seniors were applying for MAID because they were lonely.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
In your life, you know, to get to the point where you're so lonely.
I had one lady, she applied for MAID and she was accepted because all she wanted to do was die for 3 years. And then when she got accepted, I said, so, you know, what is it that you'd like to do now? I went back a week later and she goes, well, it's so final. I said, it is. Well, I don't want to. She wanted that on the table.
Right.
And then once our visits were up and we were going more often, she was no longer
I was
lonely.
going to say that. I mean,
That's
you and your staff, you know, changed that mindset completely.
She had no family in town. So.
Really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And thank you, Diesel. You've been so lovely. To find out more information, by the way, you can call them 613-592-1250 or you can visit them at seniors-solutions.com. We'll be back with more to wrap things up right after this.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for our next Hour to Give, where we feature the Shepherds of Good Hope Foundation and all of the great work they're doing in the community. We're going to tell you ways that you can help. Join us then.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's just talk about a couple of things we discussed on the show today, and I'll include a couple other things that are happening in the city in June. So the Write 'em Up comedy special happening at Absolute Comedy. That's on June 27th at 8:30 p.m. Visit the social media websites, either on Instagram or on Twitter, at Write 'em Up Show. So just at Write M-E-M Show, Write 'em Up Show to get your tickets for that. It's going to be an absolute fantastic night. The Velvet Duke, they're going to be performing all over the place with Pirate Fest. So if you visit Pirate Life's website, you can find out the entire schedule on all the things they have planned. Don't forget they have the festival as well on June 8th, but they are running all throughout the entire summer. Family friendly, lots of fun, tons of pirate things going on. The Orleans Craft Beer Festival coming up as well, June 7th and 8th. Keep an eye out for that. The Summer Indigenous Art Market is coming up on June the 15th, and we've got a special show on Indigenous Peoples Day that we'll tell you about. That's coming up on June 21st. We're really excited about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Unscripted, uninterrupted coverage of events by Canada's business leaders, visionaries, and social figures. Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Paula Roy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back into my kitchen for another season of Paula Roy's Favorite Foods.